Okay, it has been a very long while since I've done a video for this channel. Uh, yeah, just been don't really have many ideas on what else to make. But so in my desperate move, and what I've been trying to not do forever is the tables video. It's not overly complicated, and it's my most requested video, so it's about time that I do it. I'm not going to go into any like really advanced stuff here. I just want to kind of give a basic explanation of how it works, and then just let you guys take it from there. So if you have no idea how tables works, this is for you. This video is for you. If you kind of have an idea, then this is kind of a refresher, and maybe you'll learn some things. If you're an advanced user, then you probably won't learn much. But I will be giving out some of my techniques on what I do for tables, so maybe you will learn something. So maybe there's something here for everyone. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I've set up a song here, which somebody had suggested that I do, rather than just plopping in random notes. So there's actually a little ditty, and I will play it for you right now. So we have all of our parts to our song, but if you noticed from the recording, our lead melody is a little boring. Basically, this is kind of what plagues the whole LSDJ community, is that most people don't put a lot of effort into their leads or their instruments, their pulse instruments. Wave instruments always have really great sounds, but pulse, I don't know, for some reason goes to the wayside, and you can make some really awesome sounds in your pulse channel, and this is where your tables are going to come in. So, I mean, a lot of people really like those basic bleeps and bloops, but for me, I don't, and it's pretty boring and overused. There's so many sounds you can get out of this program. I don't know why you would settle for just adjusting the envelope and the wave duty cycle and calling it a day. There's just so much more you can do. So anyway, yeah. So here's just our main melody without the backtrack. Yawn City, that was boring. Yeah, that's why we need tables. We need to make this song sound awesome. So before I get into tables, I have some tables set up. I have two set up, and just with some different things that I've done. So I just want to give you a kind of compare and contrast on what tables are actually going to do for your song. So here is the first table I've made. So that sounded about 2,000% better, at least to me. And so how did I get there? Well, tables, obviously. And this is the, this is where your songs and your instruments are going to take a lot more shape, and you're going to have a lot more depth, rather than just your default 50% wave duty cycle, A8 lead, whatever. I mean, if that's what you like, make that, but don't expect a lot of people to listen to you for very long, because it's boring. And do expand as much as you can. Take LSDJ as far as it can go. Don't just settle for a quarter of the way there. So yeah, that's my little speech on boring songs. So let's just get into it. You'll see you have 4 columns in your tables. You have your volume, which is your first on the left, your transpose column, and you have 2 command columns. Your volume column, this is where you're going to create more elaborate volume envelopes. If you don't know what an envelope is, you don't know how they work, I would suggest pausing the video and going and reading on that. I mean, I'm not going to explain anything in depth here about envelopes. I can't do it very well, and I'm sure there's plenty of resources that explain envelopes much better than I can. So go read a Wikipedia article or something. Yeah, anyway, so rather than, this doesn't work the same way your instrument envelope works. Rather, your first digit is your volume. So 0 being nothing, and then F being your loudest. So then 0 is silent, and then F is the maximum volume you can get. Your second digit is going to dictate how many ticks that volume digit actually plays for. So our base volume for this instrument is 8. And I'm going to create like a sliding well, basically this is going to go down in volume, and then it's going to come back up, and I for some reason can't count. And it's just, and we're gonna let it each play for 1 tick. Actually, we're gonna let this hold for 3 ticks. We'll let the rest of them play. So let's check out and see how this sounds. Okay, so you heard that our instrument, our melody, was descending and then ascending rapidly. The volume was descending and ascending rapidly when it played. You'll also notice that when the arrows are going down, it only gets to probably about, well, I guess it only gets to about 51 before it plays the next note. Because when the next note starts, the table resets and doesn't play all the ticks. So I would say, make sure to keep your eye on that so you're not adding useless commands or volume commands, as I did. I added 3 extra when I didn't need them, because it only goes so far as 51 before it hits the next note. I usually play the song or melody while I'm adjusting this, just so I can hear everything in real time. But for the video, I won't do that because I don't want to compete with my voice with the song. Alright, so that's your volume column. Just say, read it. Don't know anything about envelopes, read up on it. And you can add a lot, your songs can add a lot more depth as far as volume range, and kind of give it a little more of an organic sound. Yeah. So, next up is our transpose column. And basically, what this is used for, if you know a little bit about music theory, your transpose column will, with each digit, will go up or down one or more semitones, depending on how many digits you actually put in. So if I put in 1, it'll go from C to C sharp. That's what our notes start out at. If I go to FF, it will go to B. It would go to C4, so it would go to B3. But basically, most people do is build their arpeggios here. And what an arpeggio is just basically a chord that's hit note for note, like in succession. So think of it as like think of a piano, and if you're playing a chord, you're hitting one, rather than hitting all the keys at one time, you're hitting them individually, starting from your root note and then down, or up, rather, and playing, sorry, but playing them very fast. And this is going to add a little more depth. I'm going to go ahead and add, I use a lot of power chords. I come from a punk kind of guitar playing background, so, and I just like how they sound in LSDJ. So anyway, yeah, power chord is fifth, and to achieve that, you'd have to go, it's a fifth interval, so you'd have to go up 7 semitones, and then this is just to add a little more harmony on the end of it, to make it a 3-chord power chord, or three-note power chord, rather than just a 2-note interval. Like I said, you kind of have to know should know a little bit about music theory. I would suggest it. It's going to help. It's going to help understand how the transpose column works a little bit. Or just read about notes and semitones, basically, and you'll know. But let's go ahead and see how this is going to sound with our note. Anyway, I'm going to add a hop command here. Actually, I'll delete the hop command, and I'll get into why I'll add it after this is done playing. So that is your transpose column. You can make any chord that you want to create an arpeggio. And there's a good guide on the LSDJ wiki, and it goes over some of the different chords, what the semitones are, the semitone combinations to make the chord. So if you're not familiar with it, that's a good guide to check out. So anyway, so now we have 2 command columns here, and I was going to add a hop command, but I didn't, wasn't ready. And why I was going to do that was because I wanted my transpose column to hop. Rather than playing an extra 4 ticks of our bass note, I just wanted to hop back, play the 4, and go right back into the arpeggio. Let's just, I'll play the difference, and maybe you can hear it. So I hope you could hear the difference between the two. Just it just holds out the root note a little longer, and I didn't want that, so I added a hop command right at the end of our arpeggio. So anyway, so you have two command columns here, and what these do is allow you to add commands. Just, you know, if you're familiar with your your phrase screen, you have a command column here, but this allows you to add multiple commands within one note, or within one table. So what I like to do, I like to add different wave duty cycles, and a lot of people will add a lot of wave duty cycles, which isn't really necessary. And I think it kind of takes away from actually creating different sounds. I just, you know, just kind of strategically place different wave duty cycles to get a little more different sounds. So I'll add a 12.5 here, but I'll play the difference. I'll play it the original, and then I will play it with the wave duty cycle added. So, you know, halfway through our table now, it starts out at a 50% duty cycle, which is our default there from our instrument, and then it changes to 12.5, kind of giving it a higher range on the end. And you know, like I said, you can add a lot of different commands. I'll do some vibrato commands, just some subtle changes, and you know, you can add different vibrato. You can make it start out with just a little and then end with a lot. So let's check it out and see how this sounds. So that's basically your table. I hope you understand a little bit more about how they work. What I didn't go into was automate, and what this does is, rather than playing it your table note, you know, your table all at once, what it does is it plays it tick per tick as it goes. So let's hear the difference between automate and non-automated tables. So if you noticed that the arrows are moving a lot slower, and what it does is plays for each note. You see, like, you have 16 possible note slots here, and that corresponds to your table as well. So whatever you have in your 0 will play that, and then it goes down. Other than your volume column, that will continue to play like a regular table without automate on. Let's turn it off. Yeah, and you could hear that my melody was actually changing as the song progressed too, because now it's not playing it's not playing like an arpeggio. It's just the note is changing 7 semitones and then up a whole octave. You know, made it sound like almost like a real song. So yeah, I hope this helped you guys. Like I said, these aren't all the commands. You can add you know, pitch commands and shape commands. This will edit the way your stuff sounds. There's all other kinds of different stuff. So your F command, yes, okay, this modifier, I just wanted to make sure that this is it. Modify wave, um, your wave screen, and that's a little more advanced. I'm not going to go into that just because I don't feel like I could explain it well enough. But yeah, just experiment with tables, and you're going to create a lot of awesome sounds. And your songs will have so much more depth, and it'll really set you apart from other people. So good luck with tables, and I hope this answered any questions. I hope this is a decent table video, at least for beginners. At least you know now what each column does, and what you can do with it. So until next time, take care.